And we're back with Gotham Sound's coverage of NAB, AES, NYC 2024, here with James Schaller from Clearcom. James, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure as always, Peter and Nick.
Thank you. And we've busted out the handheld for this because we have a special guest star in a minute. But let's talk Clearcom. What's going on?
I think the big message at the show for Clearcom is value. You know, Clearcom is an infrastructure product. It's an infrastructure purchase often, and it's expensive. And people want to know, how much value can I really get out of my intercom? And with Arcadia, let's brighten it up here a little bit. With Arcadia, you're going to get a single platform that can do it all. And by all, I mean can support all your flavors of wireless. And of course, in the US, we're basically at 1.9 gigahertz, but we also do 2.4 if you're traveling internationally and you need that license-free capability, and also 5 gigahertz. But wait, there's more. How much value can you get into a product of 1RU? Arcadia can support 4-wire audio. It can support 2-wire party line of Clearcom and RTS, and a vast array of wireless products, okay? As well as digital party line. We have HelixNet. We have the ability to use IP-based architecture for antennas, as well as the E1. And then we have a variety of belt packs here, from FreeSpeak to our Edge, and light them all up and make them look beautiful. So the central message here, again, is really Arcadia as how much can you put in one box, support all of this at a value that works, and make it highly scalable. So you can start with Arcadia at 16 ports of IP. You always get the hardwire ports in, but then you can take that out to as much as 128 ports, okay? Especially for remote applications. We have a lot of customers that drop Arcadias in remote locations, connect over IP, and our product manager, Kari, is going to talk about IV Direct in a minute, so we'll go there. But they connect over IP back to either another Arcadia, to a control room, to a large broadcast facility, or just to another remote facility for some kind of feed that they're doing on a live event. So that's, I think, really what we're talking about here today. It's Arcadia and a central platform. I see I'm probably standing in front of the sign here. People ask me, why do you call it a central station? Because it really is the nexus of all of this capability. And so I'd like to really introduce Kari.
Wait, hold on one second. Before we do that, I do have one question. When you say ports, what does that mean? Does that mean headsets? Does that mean belt packs? Like, ports is not saying channels. So what does that mean?
Great question.
Yeah.
So when in intercom speak, for a port, we're talking about either a fixed hardware port that could be either for 4-wire audio, or it could be for 2-wire party line, or an IP port. Okay, so an IP port, and they're the ones that can scale. Okay, so you can get an Arcadia with 16 IP ports, and the IP ports are used by FreeSpeak wireless belt packs. They're used by HelixNet party line channels, and they can also support connections to LQ or to another Arcadia. So if you only needed maybe 8 or 10 FreeSpeak wireless belt packs, and yet maybe some connection to some party lines, say a smaller system, 16 IP ports would be fine. But then you may find yourself at a large event company, or especially for our live event customers, sometimes they need to get maybe 20, 30, 40 wireless belt packs. You have that ability to scale the system with an additional license added on to the platform, done in the field, and that can take you to this greater capacity.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Great. So now our special, oh, and don't forget about Dante.
Don't forget about Dante. That's right.
Dante.
We can get up to 64 Dante ports as well, and that uses one of the IP ports. So yes,
only
thank you.
One of the IP ports.
Yeah, one IP port per Dante channel. That's a 2-directional channel.
1-to-1.
Up to a 64 maximum. So the maximum you can get out of those 128 ports, and I think it's even more now, and Kari's probably going to correct me because we're always upgrading it, is 64 Dante ports, or the maximum number of Dante ports you can support on the Arcadia.
And that's an interesting thing about Arcadia too, is the hardware is the hardware, and then it's license space to expand.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, great. Anything else, Peter? Our director from behind the camera? He's good. Okay, let's introduce our special guest.
Thanks again to our friends at Gotham, and this is Kari Eythorsson.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. So James spoke about the Arcadia Central Station. The Arcadia Central Station is built around the concept of adaptability. Now, what does that mean? That's a high-level word, right? but it means pretty much that the system adapts to our users. In the past, we needed to add a different kind of a system to have different capabilities and to add different types of user stations. We used to bolt a wireless system on top of a wired system. We used to add interfaces to digital and so on. In Arcadia, you start out with a system and then you tell the system what you want to do. You do not need to bring in another system for these different tasks at hand. And so, does your user need to be wireless? How many buttons on their belt pack need to be? Does the position perhaps is more suitable for a wired belt pack or a flush mount speaker station? All of that can be achieved with an Arcadia system. So adaptable to the user, but we are also very adaptable to your infrastructure with the Arcadia system. We can live on networks. Of course, as we all know, networks are wonderful. They get our signals all over the place. But sometimes when you only have 2 minutes to set up, it's nice to be able to plug in and go. And Arcadia caters to that as well, for the simplicity of a true plug-and-play workflow. Arcadia works over 3-pin XLRs, line-level audio, network connectivity, and all of these things, fiber, RJ45s, like what do you want to throw at it? Arcadia can sit in your infrastructure and potentially tie into your legacy system that you may have in your facility. Now, this adaptability is then further stretched in the network capabilities that we spoke about. And with Arcadia Release 3, we added the instant voice directs into the Arcadia system. The IV directs, for short, are basically a method of getting compressed audio over LAN WAN or the internet to other ClearComm devices. This is highly robust, it is very secured, and we have been using this protocol in our Eclipse Matrix systems for many, many years. And people have generally always appreciated how easy it is to get it over a network. The protocol is built up in such a way that one end of the connection tries to call home. Basically, it tries to log in on the other end. And if it can reach it through your network, you have a system. The beauty of that mechanism is that it doesn't really matter where the devices are in the world. We could set them up here on this table that we have here, or I could take one of those devices to Norway and plug them into the internet at my hotel room, and they will go and find my unit that I may have in New York. In Arcadia Release 3, we have 16, a maximum of these circuits that live inside the Arcadia device. They can be added as simply as pressing add resources in the Arcadia CCM browser interface. And then we can set them up to connect to another Arcadia. We can set them to connect to our LQ series of interface devices, as well as to Eclipse Matrix systems. Building the potential of having a very capable ecosystem support, if you will. If you have an Eclipse in your main facility, perhaps your flypack or your remote truck has an Arcadia in it, all connecting together over whatever internet connectivity that you may have. Inside the Arcadia system, you can then assign this as any other Dante port, 4-wire port, whatever you may have. So a tremendously powerful addition to the system. We then here at this show have a preview of something that we have cooking in the labs, which is an application protocol for remote controlling our Station IC virtual intercom client. So Station IC basically allows you to have up to 23 or 24 keys of intercom, either on your Eclipse Matrix system, an LQ, or our Gen IC cloud intercom system. Now, the thing that we're working on, it's not quite out yet, is basically the ability for a third-party piece of software to send and receive commands from the Station IC. And with that, we will be able to facilitate remote control of the application from other pieces of software, or hardware device such as the one that I have here sitting on my table. Providing some tactility when you have, let's say, a cluttered desktop. I'm probably not the only one guilty of having a cluttered desktop with 50 browser tabs open, if you get my point. Mm-hmm. So this is in development right now. We are hoping to deliver this capability early next year.
And is that capability like a free software upgrade, or is that like a licensed upgrade? What will that?
It will be an upgrade to our existing Station IC users. So it will be a simple download upgrade. So
a firmware update.
Basically, yes. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Perfect. Peter, any questions? Perfect. Anything else that you want to share that you're excited about?
We're excited about being here and seeing you and all of our different customers.
Well, thank you.
Around the world. It feels like us as our industry is in good spirits these days, and that's always a pleasant atmosphere to be in.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Well, perfect. Well, we're going to take lunch now, which I am very excited about, and also very excited to talk to you and James. Thank you so much for being with us. It's good to see you again. And thank you so much for being with us online. As always, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, email us at info@gothamsound.com. And we will see you for more after we eat some food.